This video, we're going to use the square root property to solve quadratic equations. These will be problems like this in 16.1, numbers 13, 15, and 19. Just a few problems here. So we're going to start with this one. And what we want to do is we want to say that if x squared equals a over here, that x is equal to plus or minus the square root of a, because positive square root of a squared is a and negative square root of a squared is also a. So we should end up with two answers to the problem. So we're going to take the square root of both sides, and x equals plus or minus the square root of 15. We would get the same answers to that if we had solved by factoring. I'm just going to show you that since we did a solve by factoring video last time. We would have to think of this as a difference of squares, as this being x squared minus the square root of 15 squared. And then we would write this as x plus the square root of 15 and x minus the square root of 15. And then we would set each factor equal to 0. And we would solve. Here we would add root 15 to both sides. X equals positive root 15. And we would get both of our answers, and we wouldn't have to remember the plus or minus sign. It's a few more steps, but it helps us to see all those things, and it's going to be really important if you take calculus to be able to break things down into factors like that. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's look at our next problem here, which is x squared is equal to 1/9. And so that means that x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 1/9. Remember that we rationalize everything in our answers in this class, so we don't leave fractions inside of a square root, and we don't leave a square root in the bottom of a fraction. So we're going to use our square root properties here to say this is the square root of 1 over the square root of 9. It is plus or minus the square root of 1 is 1, the square root of 9 is 3, and our answer is x is equal to plus or minus 1/3. Now you can't use a plus or minus sign like this in my labs, so you need to actually answer in this problem negative root 15 comma positive root 15. And in this answer you need to answer x is negative 1/3 comma 1/3. All right. Let's go ahead and make some space for our last problem here. 3x squared is equal to 5. So let's go ahead and get x squared by itself by dividing both sides by 3 to start off with. X squared is equal to 5 over 3, which means x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 5 over 3. X is equal to plus or minus the square root of 5 divided by the square root of 3. That's not a square root of a perfect square in the denominator, so we need to rationalize our denominator by multiplying by root 3 over root 3. So x is plus or minus square root of 5 times 3 is 15. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is going to be 3, and that's our rationalized answer. So x is equal to negative root 15 over 3, comma, positive root 15 over 3. Those are our 3 example problems for this topic. And next time, we're going to come back and use the quadratic formula to solve some quadratic equations. All right? So we'll see you for the next video.